Things are about to get very interesting. Hello and welcome to another Uncut, where we are going to be discussing August astrology, and I am going to inform you of some key dates where things are likely to get a little bit intense. I'm hoping to help you prepare for the astrological weather. So a couple of things before we begin. One is a reminder, I am here to help you and your loved ones in navigating your life situations that come up. I know it can be hard sometimes to access our intuition when we're in the face of acute stress. So I always try to keep my up-to-date readings and coaching calls linked in the description or in a pinned comment. So hopefully you're all doing well, and hopefully no one is in need of emergency guidance at this time. But if you or your loved ones ever are, I always try, especially during intense astrological times like eclipses or big full moons like the one we have upcoming, I try to keep spaces for anyone who's in need of last minute guidance. Okay, so that is always there. Oh, also, I was just so inspired by all of you who entered to win the free Mercury Retrograde reading last week. Tina won. Tina got her reading yesterday. Tina was very happy, which made me very, very happy. So I just want to keep the benevolence flowing. So I'm going to try something new in today's video. At the end of the video, I'm going to pull one of your names and I'm going to offer you your card of tarot guidance. I pulled the card already, but I'm going to pull the name at the end, and then the name will be matched to the guidance. If you're watching this and you're new and you want to be included, you want your name to be in the bowl, just put a little comment with your name below and the little emoji of the card. Okay? The card emoji. Okay, now let's begin. Okay, I need to be honest with you, starting at the end of this upcoming week, on Friday, August 16th, things are starting to get challenging and intense. They're going to remain quite challenging and intense. Now, for some people, this can be intense. Some people love intense energy. Sometimes intense can be exciting, but intense, okay? We're looking at a very intense week beginning on Friday, a very intense weekend. This final week of Mercury retrograde, the final 10 days, is a little spectacular, okay? It's a little spectacular, like a fireworks display or something. It's a little bit spectacular. So overall, when facing astrological weather, okay, that's kind of what I think of, like the alignment of the stars. It's like our astrological weather. So, you know, typical astrologies, maybe like partly cloudy, 10-mile-an-hour winds, you know, just like an average day. This is not that. We're talking like flash flood with some hail and some lightning and just like chaotic weather. So truly, when approaching intense astrological weather, it's actually good to sort of utilize the same principles as when approaching physical weather. So if you're in the middle of a blizzard, or you know there's going to be hail with lightning, what would you do, right? Well, you minimize any outgoings to only what is essential, right? So if maybe you are planning just for fun to have a bonfire outside and go on a little hike or swim, you know, at the local lake or picnic, you probably would cancel all that because the weather doesn't really support it. But if you have a very important medical procedure, a surgery, and you've been waiting 9 months and it's life-saving, you're still going to drive to the hospital and you're still going to get the surgery. So the important thing though, when facing, if you are going to go out in times of intense weather, is what? Dress for the weather. Put on your raincoat or your snow boots, you know, put a snow shovel in your car if the roads might be blocked. It's the preparations. So there's a combination of things to do when facing intense astrological weather. So one is avoid doing anything that's non-essential. And yeah, I mean, I know people don't like to hear that, but this really isn't the time to try to make wonderful warm memories, you know, like if you can do it, say in September instead, Better to minimize non-essential tasks, and if you're going to be out, dress for the weather. So what that means, like energetically speaking, is when you go into a situation, be mindful and calm, have realistic expectations, know how to ground yourself, know how to center yourself. If you have any special tea or flower essences or anything nice and natural that you use to calm yourself, maybe a crystal, bring those things with you. It's Mercury retrograde, there's delays. Have a book or something that you can do to keep yourself entertained when the delays happen, because they probably will. You know, you embrace that mindset of wu wei, I think of it as. It's like, we're gonna go with the flow no matter what happens. Plans are not likely to go as we had imagined, but if you can embrace wu wei and you can go with what is and not against the current, things will be better. Okay, so that's my overall advice for the remainder of the month. Now let's take a look at specific days of importance. So I'm filming this on Tuesday. Many of you are probably watching it on Wednesday, August 14th, which is when Mercury is going to move into Leo. So we've all been refining and reflecting on the Virgo house in our chart for the past couple of weeks. Now we're moving back into Leo. So in whole sign houses, the house in your chart, which is Leo, for me it's the 12th house. Now you're going to be finding, you're going to be reflecting on matters and strategies of that house, making modifications here and finding new ways. You may encounter a challenge in the house that is ruled by Leo, and as a result of that challenge, you may discover there's a better way of approaching that house, and that discovery should be made between August 14th and August 28th. Come August 28th, you'll be ready to implement the strategy for better results in the Leo area of your house. Or your chart, I'm sorry. I usually don't even film during Mercury retrograde, but I'm trying something new. But sometimes I may fumble with my words. Okay, so that same day, Mars in Gemini is going to conjunct Jupiter in Gemini, which is an aspect that's been building for several weeks. What this could look like is, this could be like people suddenly speaking the truth, but in a way where it's not very well thought out. So this could just be like, when I think of Mars in Gemini, I think of Donald Trump. Like, I think of people that just say what comes to mind, they just say it right on their mind. And this could be like that. But it could be truths coming out. For if you're someone who's like a channeler, or you like, you know, the divine moves through you, this could be an illuminated day in that respect. So Wednesday, August 14th is the first key date. Now the next key date, the first day, I think a lot of us are going to face kind of an internal conflict or feel like we're pulled in multiple directions in our life, is going to be Friday, August 16th, when Mars in Gemini squares Saturn in Pisces. So there's going to be a square between the house topic areas indicated by Gemini in your chart. For me, it's the 10th house. And the house topic areas indicated by the Pisces area of your chart, which for me is the 7th house. So like for me, this could look like maybe there's some people that are clients, or maybe there's an opportunity for the public that really is calling my attention that day, but at the same time, you know, maybe my sibling or one of my best friends or one of the closest people in my life needs me, and I feel like a real, like, what am I gonna do? Like, who do I go to? So for me, whenever I'm facing a square, what I've learned with time is the best approach is turn taking. There's really no easy way through it. So finding a way to address both the Gemini area and the Pisces area in your chart that day is going to be key. But I would expect that you would feel pulled in multiple directions, and it just requires making a sacrifice in both areas, I think, unfortunately. But it's like the best thing you can do is give something, even if it's less than what you want to give give something in terms of your time, energy, presence to both the Gemini and the Pisces area. Just do your best. Just do your best. That's all you can do. Maybe, you know, it is for you. Maybe it affects your 7th house like it does for me. And maybe that friend wants you to be with them all day and comfort them, but you can only be there for an hour. Still come for an hour. Okay? That's the type of approach with a square. The next significant date is Sunday, August 18th, where Mercury will conjoin the Sun, marking the halfway point of the retrograde. Woo! So to be honest, for me, like, things always get a lot harder for me after Mercury moves behind the Sun. But most people report the opposite, where the beginning part of the retrograde is difficult and then things move forward after this point. So I'm hoping you're in the final category where for you, things start to pick up during the, you know, kind of after Sunday. But Mercury will be in the beams of the Sun, and on the same day, energies for the full moon in Aquarius are going to start building. The full moon in Aquarius. So you want to think almost, what were the seeds that you were planting 6 months ago during the new moon in Aquarius? And the full moon's going to show you kind of if you put in the work, right, or what you manifested in that time. I'm very interested. For me, that's my 6th house. And that's an interesting place for me. I have my lot of affliction there and some other things. So probably the most spectacular is the word I'm using, because I think it's going to be a mixed bag, but I think it's going to be a lot of intense, unexpected, unpredictable, unstable types of energies that can result in breakthroughs of a positive nature, but also possibly conflicts, challenges, accidents, stuff like that, all happening. It's just a lot happening on one day. So that's going to be Monday, August 19th. For some people, I think this will begin on Sunday. Kind of depends where you are in the world. But yeah, we're having the full moon in Aquarius. So the Aquarius area of your chart may be lit up, but because of the aspects of this full moon, most of your chart is going to be affected. My advice this day is, well, how I will approach it is just, to me, it's a mindset thing, which is hard to kind of describe on YouTube, but when it's an intense astrological day, I always try to just be like reverent, like in a state of like constant, like a living prayer, you know? And it's just, I always say like, God, source, the universe, the guides, the angels, like, please help me to do the most good I can today with the least amount of harm. So ideally, to do as much good with no harm, and that includes harm to myself and others. And I just try to be slow and mindful and just wait. So I personally don't act, I don't create during these kinds of energies. I don't try to start anything. I think most astrologers would not recommend trying to launch, start, create, or do anything during these kinds of energies. Unless you are truly moved by the divine to do so. Not by ego, not by stress, but by the divine, right? So I personally will do nothing except wait and see what comes to me. And things will come. Like the phone will start ringing, or mail will come, or the emails will come in, requests for readings will come in. But that's kind of the approach that I take. I don't try to do anything. When the stars are gnarly AF like they are on Monday, I just try to just meet the moment with as much love and understanding as I possibly can. But I don't try to make anything happen, and I basically wait until it's over. Just like, yeah, like that's kind of like, I just think of it as like, some people like have like altar spaces, and you know, if they're in a sacred time, I'm thinking of like, I don't know, I'm thinking of like the Islamic faith and things like that, and they go through, you know, Ramadan and things like that, and they're fasting like all day, and they're in that sacred energy and they're just connecting with God. That's how I approach challenging astrological days. And it is difficult to me. The energies, those kinds of energies are difficult to me. Where we run into problems, I think, like if it's a difficult astrological day and you try to do something that would work really, really well on like an astrological day where like things are amazing, like, you know, like the moon is with Jupiter, sextile Venus, or like some kind of awesomeness, and like you try to do that on a day like Monday and expect the same results. So I think matching our expectations to the energy, and the energy is chaos, okay? I feel so bad saying that, but like it's so true. So like just don't do anything that is unnecessary, and as much as possible be the calm. I recommend to people in energies like this, respond, don't react. People are going to be stressed and dramatic, especially people that don't emotionally regulate very well, which is a lot of people. So personally for me, like I won't, for example, read any text message or any email on Monday without first like taking a few deep breaths, grounding myself. If there's anyone that I know that tends to be unstable, I will just wait until Tuesday or Wednesday to check any correspondences from them, because I don't want to be pulled into the madness. You get what I mean? There are certain people that are always unstable, in unstable energies. I will not move toward those people on a day like that. Does that make sense? I feel bad saying that, but it's true, and I think that's a kind of a good approach. If my phone, it rings like a lot, depends who it is, but especially if it's someone random, I haven't heard from them in a long time, or something unexpected, I'll let it go to voicemail, breathe, center myself, listen to the voicemail, and then maybe get back with them. But it's like the type of thing where you don't want, like on Monday, you don't want your behavior to be motivated by fear or stress. Don't take action out of fear or stress. Sometimes we get unexpected news, and the best thing we can do is just acknowledge the news, but then put it aside, go out on a walk, get some space or distance, allow for clarity. We don't always have to respond right away. And where you're going to get into problems like on Monday or in any of these energies is if you respond like immediately. You know, quickness, there's going to be an energy that's going to make you want to act quick. Don't. That's my advice, okay? There's also a restless energy that's going to make people want to break free of stuff. And you might have a sudden impulse to leave your partner or something like that. Don't. Like, that's my recommendation. Like, but it's hard because there's certain people out there where this is the push they need. But if you haven't been thinking about breaking free, quitting your job, ending your relationship if you've been thinking about it for months and months and you've been waiting for the right moment, Monday might be the right moment. But if it's suddenly coming up, like you're starting to feel frustrated on Sunday and then Monday it's like, it's over. No, I would not recommend that. I would not. And I would also recommend taking safety precautions. I would not. Me personally, like in any of these energies for the next week, I would not recommend like this to be the first time you go cliff jumping or something like that, or try to walk on fire, like at a retreat or that kind of stuff that people do. I would not recommend. Oh my gosh, you guys, I would not recommend. So if you make it through Monday in a mindful way, my Mercury retrograde mantra has been be the calm. You know, and if you are the calm, that's awesome. Not everybody's going to face some kind of real instability on Monday, but I think most of us will at least know someone who will. And I think that news, like on a global scale, I wouldn't watch it. My recommendation is don't watch it. Anything you need to know about, trust me, I stopped watching the news like during COVID. But like my neighbors, my family, my friends, they tell me what's going on. And anything that's really like worthwhile, like usually someone will tell me. And the rest of it just spreads stress, spreads fear. That's okay, for the most part. So I'd recommend not keeping on like CNN in the background all day and obsessively watching it, because it's probably going to make you spiral. Okay, that's what I would say. So we have another square coming up on Thursday, August 27th. Venus in Virgo is going to square Mars in Gemini. Venus square Mars. So the Virgo area of your chart, there may be an opportunity to experience some goodness in that area. For me, that's like the first house, or some kind of pleasure activity, relationship activity, something artistic, something. There's some kind of desire to experience goodness in the Virgo area of your chart that is in direct conflict with some kind of challenge or need to take action in the Gemini area of your chart on the same day. So for me, that's first house, 10th house. So then that's going to be me, what I need for myself, versus some kind of pull towards my mission in the world, like at the same time. So again, with the other square, expect to feel pulled in multiple different directions. So this is going to be Thursday, August 22nd. You may feel like you don't have enough time to address each. Try to just do a little something in each of the areas, even if it's not the full thing. That's my recommendation. Just give a little. On the same day, the sun is going to move into Virgo, which I feel is positive, but it is kind of problematic in the sense the sun will no longer be co-present with Mercury. And I'm all about good Mercury, but at the same time, it'll be with Venus. So that is good. So we're starting to illuminate the Virgo area of your chart on Thursday. But again, I think for me with squares, I think scheduling. Like knowing that you're going to feel pulled in different areas and carving out time for both. That's just me, but different people handle squares in different ways. So finally, the key date of the month is Wednesday, August 28th. This is the 29th if you're in Australia, but otherwise it's happening on the 28th at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mercury will move direct. Oh, thank you, universe. I cannot wait. Mercury will move direct, and the very next day, Venus will change signs, moving into Libra. So if there's something that you're thinking about buying, there's a course you're thinking of enrolling in, there's changes, big changes you're thinking about making in your life, keep thinking for the next couple weeks. If it still feels right, around dinner time on Wednesday, August 28th, or on the 29th, or on the 30th, implement it at the end of the month, but not before, okay? We're all going on a very intense journey between now and then. So some general tips: be the calm. Don't be the one that's elevated, dramatic, overwhelmed if you can help it. Breath is powerful. So are self-care activities. Ground yourself. Have a grounding strategy. Practice it. Remember your spiritual vision. Remember, you are not your body. You are not your life circumstances. You are a soul who is here to experience life, to learn, to grow, to express your gifts, to connect with soulmates. Keep in mind the bigger picture. Keep in mind the bigger picture of your life, even if one day is really, really bad. Focus on your trajectory. Respond consciously to anything that develops. Pause. Respond. Don't react. Where possible, give things time for solutions to arise. Specifically because it's Mercury retrograde, you don't need to react or fix problems right away. Clarity comes when we step away. Avoid all actions that are motivated by stress or fear. Is what I'm about to say the result of stress? Is it because I'm afraid? If yes, don't proceed, okay? Is what I'm about to buy because someone freaked me out and I'm stressed and afraid? If yes, don't buy, okay? So that's some general advice. Now, my battery is gonna be running out, so we gotta pull the name. So this is an experiment to see if you guys like this. Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes like I'm waiting for a reading. Who is meant to have this message today? You know, it's possible this person won't even see the video. Okay, so today's message is for Sky Rhyme, and hopefully you're watching. And the card of guidance that came through for you is the Eight of Wands. This is a card that suggests that things are about to really be picking up for you. Astrologically, it's affiliated with Mercury in Sagittarius. Whatever those goals are that you've been working towards, that could be career, that could be relationship, that could be otherwise, things are about to begin to move forward for you, possibly very, very quickly. You need to expect a lot of actions, and we just talked about that full moon and things like that. So eliminate anything unessential so that when things start moving, you can be involved in that. To me, this is a card of like, kind of go for the gold. It's the 8, right? Like the 8 out of 10. So when we see 8s, often we see, I think of like the 8 of Pentacles person just like on the workbench. Like this is a time to assert, like put in the work. There could be travel involved, Mercury and Sagittarius, unexpected travel. Do what you need to do to progress toward the goal. That's fire, maximal fire, 8 of Wands. It's just like, it's like the ultimate card of action, movement, throwing, like, I think of like, just like throwing the javelin, like it's a power. There's a power here for you. And if you've been waiting for something to happen, it could be like that it hasn't happened for a long time and then suddenly everything starts happening at once. But I would definitely say expect things to begin moving forward. Sometimes we experience delays during the retrograde, but the 8 of Wands suggests forward movement coming very soon. Do what you can to be primed for success. So if things haven't started moving yet and there's stuff you can do, like whatever it is you need to do, getting paperwork in order, making sure your house is clean, making sure food is prepped, be ready because things are moving soon. Be at your best and ready to seize the day when opportunity comes. So, Sky Rhyme, please watch, like, and receive your message. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video and learning more about the August astrology. What I shared today are just a few highlights. We could be here all day discussing everything that's going on, but I hope that you got value in today's video. It is my absolute joy and honor to share the wisdom of the stars with you. Thank you for watching. Many blessings and